This is week 4 of our faith-based series, Be Bold and Walk in Miracle Territory. And I'm excited about today's video because there's some things that I definitely didn't get to share last week that I want to share about recognizing those things and those people around you that are important, recognizing the voice of God. We talked a little bit about that last week, recognizing people who are sent to help you fulfill your destiny, people who are your answer to prayer, recognizing those people, those events, those moments in time that are pivotal in your relationship with God and your relationships with other people, and to help you walk more boldly and powerfully into the destiny that God has for you. There are people assigned to your destiny. You must attract them and then recognize them. So I say this all the time, my success is linked to people, the right people. What I didn't get to share in last week's video is part 2 of this lesson. And it's so critically important that you understand this part to get the full power of what I want to share with you and for you to really, really capture what you need about the law of recognition. Are you ready for it? I'm ready. So here we go. What you fail to recognize exits your life. Now this is big. It's much bigger than the way it sounds. What you fail to recognize leaves you, exits your life. And I'm going to prove that to you in the next couple of moments. You know, often we stop recognizing those people who are the most important to us, our spouse, our family, our friends, even our children. We fail to recognize them. We fail to recognize their gifts because what happens is the people that are around us all the time kind of become commonplace to us. We don't have to act anymore, right? We're around them. It's just natural that we sometimes will recognize people outside of those people that are closest to us. And because of that, guess what happens? They exit our lives. Now, maybe they don't exit our lives physically, but they definitely check out mentally. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. What you fail to recognize leaves you. And y'all, this is what happens so many times in marriages. How many times have we heard about marriages that last 25 years and then they end up in a divorce because the two people have grown apart? I'm here to tell you that they haven't actually grown apart. Just somewhere along the way, they stopped recognizing each other and recognizing each other's gifts. They fail to recognize that thing in the other person that completed them in the first place. It happens all the time. I'm not going to lie to you. About 7 years into my marriage, I definitely had to go through this process personally, where I had to write a list and begin to recognize those things in Bobby that were so good, that were so important to me, because I had been focusing and recognizing on the bad stuff, the things that weren't so good. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that too. But in 2015, I made up my mind that I was going to change some things in my life. And ladies, there are 8 areas that are important in your life that help you create a balanced life. And actually, there's a visual in your worksheets that you'll be getting or already have that show you the 8 areas of your life. So what we did in 2015 is my business partner and I created an event titled Make Up Your Mind. And it was a result of me actually making up my mind that I was going to recognize and nurture all 8 areas of my life. Now, this might seem like an impossible feat. If you're like most people and like me, you're juggling a ton of balls up in the air. You're praying that one of those balls don't hit the ground. You're looking up going, oh my gosh, here come all these balls at me that you've thrown up in the air. And it's a juggling act, and that creates stress and worry in our lives. So it may seem at this point impossible to create a balanced life. But I'm here to tell you it's not impossible. In fact, I'm going to brag here a little bit, because with God's help, with the wisdom of God, with the gifts that He's given me, I have created an incredibly balanced life in all 8 areas of my life. It's amazing what will happen when you begin to nurture each area. But what's happened, until now, I hope that this series is going to be that change, that catalyst that helps you to change. But until you start understanding these laws that I'm going to be teaching on and have taught on about the faith formations, what we think about, what we say, all of those things, you're going to have, when you begin to really do that and really embrace it as a lifestyle, like I've done, you're going to find that you actually have so many more minutes in the day than you did before. You have more time, because what'll happen is you're not going to be wasting the amount of time that you'd been wasting before. Most of us just get caught up in this trap of living a life of mediocrity, doing the same thing every single day, being completely bored with our lives. But the fact that you're here listening to this video shows that you want something different. You desire something different. And I promise you that if you'll dig in, something amazing is going to happen, if it hasn't already. But you'll have more time to do all kinds of amazing things, and your life begins to get into balance. Social media is a crazy thing, and we all post about our lives, or many of us do, on social media. I definitely use it for my business. And people look at me and they say, how do you do all the things that you do? You must be exhausted. Well, I'm not exhausted because my life is in balance. What we show on social media is only a small little piece of our life. And we actually, what we're seeing from other people is just a tiny little tip of the iceberg. And that's what people see with me. I actually have time, more time freedom than you can even imagine. And because of that, I'm able to nurture. And listen, I just want to be very clear. It's not because I have this great source of income coming in every single month. No, no, no. My husband and I do own several businesses, and I work my businesses, but it's just that I've balanced. I put things into balance. So one of the things in 2015 that I really felt was lacking in my life was my relationship with my husband, Bobby. Now, Bobby and I had a great relationship even then, but we'd been married for 30 years. And I knew that there were some things that both of us were not recognizing in each other that really needed to be nurtured. And one of the fears that I've always had, just to be honest with you, is that one day we'd grow apart when the kids got older or whatever, and that we would, that we would drift apart. And I didn't want that to happen. My marriage was so important to me. So I asked myself, what was it I was not recognizing in Bobby that I needed to recognize? And I'm just going to give you examples out of my own life, because I want you to hear my words, but I want you to listen with your hearts. I want you to think about, after this video, what is it in your life that you're failing to recognize? And I want to show you what I did to change mine. So I realized, I started thinking about, what is it that Bobby just loves? I mean, we've heard the book or read the book, the different languages of love. Do people need to be touched? Do they need gifts, words of affirmation, all of that? I'm not an expert on that book or anything, or that subject, but I thought, how could I show Bobby? I guess this is what I'm trying to say. How could I show Bobby that I recognized and valued him? Well, one of the things that God just kind of brought up in my spirit was that Bobby always loved and wanted to have his feet rubbed. And this might sound so silly, but it just is going to show you the power of what can happen when you recognize the people around you. So as I remembered that Bobby liked to have his feet rubbed, and he would always say, rub my feet, rub my feet. Well, at 24 years old, I've got a career, a new baby. Rubbing Bobby's feet was the last thing I thought about doing. And I just never did it. So I'm going to tell you what I did. I said, you know what? If he loved it back then, he would love it today. So one Friday afternoon, I said to Bobby, hey, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go take a shower. I'm going to pop some popcorn, because another one of his deals is he loves to eat. And we're going to find a movie, and I'm going to rub your feet. And Bobby looked at me and said, what? Who are you? What are you talking about? Rub my feet. I said, no, let me do it. I want to do it. Well, Bobby fought me on it for just a few minutes, but I insisted. So he went upstairs, took a shower, came down and sat on the couch, and he put his feet in my lap. And ladies, I made a big deal of it. I made a big deal of not asking anything in return. I had lotions and oils and potions, and I just sat there with his feet in my lap, watching a movie. He was eating popcorn, and I rubbed his feet. And he oohed and awed and loved it. He felt really special. But it was during that process that something really miraculous happened. I felt a connection with my husband, and he felt one with me that I had never felt in 30 years of marriage. It was amazing. It was so precious. Because of that intentional decision to recognize Bobby as an important part of my life, our relationship has grown so strong, so strong. When I recognized Bobby in a way that honored him, ladies, he began to recognize me in ways that honor me. And I want to tell you, it has been incredible. So we now have a standing date every Friday night. It's our foot rubbing night. I look forward to it. And I'll tell you, as a bonus, my hands are soft and incredibly strong because I've gotten really good at massaging his feet, and we love it. I know this may sound so simple, but it's so powerful. And this can happen in a relationship with any family member. How can you recognize those around you who are the closest? What's their love language? How can you validate who they are, their gifts? Give, and I'll tell you, it will come back 100-fold, 1,000-fold. As you begin to recognize them, they're going to begin to naturally recognize you. Practice recognizing them out loud. I promise you, it will feel extremely awkward at first, but as you begin to do it, it will become more natural. Compliment your spouse, your friend, your child, your sibling, your mom, whoever it is. See what happens. That's the first thing I want you to do. The law of recognition works in every area of your life. Now, I don't want to leave out the single ladies looking for their Boaz. It works every single time in your single life too. So what happens is when you begin to truly step into your greatness, when you begin to think those positive thoughts, change your actions and reactions, what's going to happen, the man that's supposed to be your mate, I'm speaking to the ladies now, but this works for the men too, the man that is supposed to be your mate, the man who compliments you will be attracted to you. You'll attract those men. Did you ever wonder why some women only attract men who treat them badly? It's obvious to us looking in, it's a self-esteem issue, right? What she feels about herself is mirrored in the attraction of these men. And instead of going out there to look for him, what's going to happen is, as you begin to become more positive, as your self-esteem grows, as you become more confident, as you become more bold, not aggressive, but bold, this bold energy inside of you that God has created you to be, that woman, that power woman that God has planted so deep inside of you that the enemy now has crushed it and paralyzed you from fear. As you begin to step boldly into your greatness, a bold, powerful, strong, amazing, positive man is going to be attracted to that energy. Before you even open your mouth, ladies, before you even dial in and say, hey, he's cute, he's going to notice you. He's going to attract, he's going to be attracted to you, not physically in the sense of our body and our beauty, although that's part of it, because as we become more positive and powerful and strong and bold, the beauty that God has put inside of us is going to be radiating all around us like this energy that no one can stop. So the law of recognition, your spouse, that person that is a key that to unlock your destiny, to take you where you are supposed to go, and God is going to be there. You're going to attract them. You're going to be in the right place at the right time because your energy is going to take you there. Your new energy. So where focus goes, energy flows. The last couple of weeks, I want to tell you, have been so amazing for me because as I begin to create these videos and this series, even as I'm doing it right this very minute, amazing things have been happening for me. Why? Because that law of recognition, I'm focusing on the law of focus because I'm focusing on educating and teaching you these things, and because of it, I'm in a new level because as you grow, I grow, as I grow, you grow. So now, even over the past 3 days have been amazing, and I recognize it's because of the energy. In fact, I have to say this, I was just at a seminar this weekend, and I cannot begin to tell you, there were at least 100 people at this seminar, and we were listening and taking notes and learning, and just me being in that seminar was actually the attraction of an answer to prayer, because it's the knowledge I gained there is truly an answer to what Bobby and I have been praying for, a big prayer. And so, of course, I was excited about it, but I can't tell you how many people came up to me and Bobby and said, there is something different about the two of you. What are y'all doing? Your energy is amazing. Not our physical energy, like, you know, but our spirits. They were trying to say our energy, our spirits was attracting them. And we got so much favor in that room with participants as well as the people that were leading the seminar. And because of that, we're going to be abundantly blessed. And I'm excited about that. So the same thing can happen for you that's happened for me. So one more quick thing I want to share, and I've got less than 5 minutes left that I want to teach today, but where focus goes, energy flows. What are you focusing on? This is important. What are you worried about? Because whatever you're worried about, you're going to focus on. And remember, the more you worry about that thing, the more it's going to be attracted to you. So if you have an abundance of stress in your lives, like I do, like in your life, like I do, and like most people do, you know, raise your hand right now if you have stress in your life, an abundance of it. Of course you do. That leads to worry, stress. Stress weakens the immune system, which I'm a wellness coach. I can't help but say we've got to keep a strong, healthy body so that our mind is healthy, our spirit is healthy. So stress and worry weakens the immune system. We're stressed about what's going on in the world today, the tension. You know, we're able to get news instantaneously while it's still happening. We've got our children, our businesses, our job, our marriages, our finances, our health, and the health of loved ones, all of that. And if you're focusing on the negative aspect of that, if you're worrying about it, what happens is that you're going to get more of what you focus on. It's just a truth. It's a truth. We're constantly being bombarded by circumstances that seem to be out of our control and raise our stress levels. Is it any wonder that women today, more than ever, are getting heart attacks? We're being diagnosed with depression and anxiety and all of these things. And you may be one of those women. Well, I'm here to tell you that if you'll dig in and begin to do some of the things that I've shared about so far, your life will change, and it will change for the better. So think about it. As you begin to attract more things positive to your life, as you begin to think more positively, speak more positively, and act more positively, one of the first things that will leave your life is worry. Philippians 4:6-7, incredible. Do not be anxious about anything, says the Lord, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be known to God, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:6-7. There are so many scriptures about worry. In the worksheet you'll get today, or in the workbook, whatever you're looking at, I'm going to share more with you about the scriptures that I want you to begin to that I want you to begin to speak over your life, because worry is a killer, and it will stop you from walking boldly into your destiny. Okay, so I'm gonna stop here because I'm right at 20 minutes, and I want to keep these videos where you have plenty of time to do the discussion, to really think about what I've talked about. I want you to think about who in your life have you neglected, if you will, who you've not focused on. And also I want you to think about what about you personally have you allowed to not to let go, to not focus on? Are you not taking care of yourself mentally, spiritually, and physically? Listen, women, you deserve better. And it starts with how you take care of yourself and how you treat yourself as to how other people will treat you. I have to tell you that I have to come first in my life, because if I don't take care of myself first, I'm not healthy, strong enough in any way to take care of my husband, my children, my mom, my puppy dog, my finances, anything. So my health, my self-care has to come first. I have to fill my vessel first, and you know, it's just like the deal where the oxygen mask falls from the airplane and the flight attendant says, put it on you first. Women, we always look out at other people first. We always do that. And it's usually, not always, I can't say usually, but not always the people that we need to be nurturing. It's people that maybe don't deserve our time, and that's a strong word, but your time is valuable. Who deserves your time? Who is it that God has put in your life for the right reasons? You know, just today, a woman reached out to me, a good friend from the past that I really love, and she asked me for prayer, which I gladly did for her. And then she wanted more from me. She wanted to talk to me about some things that were going on in her life. And you know what I did? I said, you know, at this moment, I don't think I'm the right person that can spend the amount of time that you need, but I think I might have someone else that I can connect you with, because I don't want to just leave her hanging if she's reached out to me. But I could have very easily, if I didn't value the season that I'm in right now, you know, spent a lot of time talking on the phone with her this week, and I can't do that right now. I'm in a fight and a battle for some things in my own life that I have to take priority of. But I did connect her with a woman who's retired, that is in a good place, that has gone through the same battle that she's going through. And I said, I want to connect you, the two of you, because I think you can be the ones to help each other. You see, so many times we want to be the be all end all. We get our power and our satisfaction, if you will, in being that nurturer and being the superhero mother, wife, friend, daughter, all of that. The first thing you've got to do is be superhero to yourself. You've got to take care of you first. And these faith-based videos that I'm doing is a way to start that process. I'm going to teach you in the next few weeks how to continue to do that, how to become more bold, more strong, have more time to nurture, love the people around you, and to walk boldly into miracle territory, walk boldly into the place that God has for you. It's going to be an amazing journey, and as we get further and further into it, you're going to see that you change. But I always have to say this: if you haven't started, you can't finish. It's how you start is how you end. How you do anything is how you do everything. So I believe for somebody in this room that's listening to this video right now, that you're chosen, you're the one, you are the one that this is for. And if it's just 1 out of 100, 1 out of 1,000, 1 out of 100,000, it doesn't matter. If it's you, it's you, and you need to make those changes. You need to make up your mind, like I did in 2015, that it's time, and plant your stake in the ground. It is my time. It is my turn, and I'm ready. So this has been Tracee Randall. Let's walk boldly into miracle territory. Bye, everybody. Love you guys. Can't wait to hear what happens.